This is educational and informative investment content only, not financial advice.
Hey folks, buckle up. I'm about to drop a truth bomb that might shake your tail feathers. If someone looks rich, they're probably not the wealthiest in the room. Yep, most millionaires don't flaunt it on purpose. After sniffing out real wealth secrets for years, I've got the scoop on the psychology of folks with $1 million net worth or more, the mental shifts that separate earners from keepers. Woof, I'm Shiba, your paw-some finance guide here at Shiba Finance, where we dig up strategies to build your money machine, ditch stress, and chase that life of choice. Because earning big is cool, but keeping it, that's the real fetch. Today we're diving into how these quiet millionaires think. Once money stops being emotional and gets intentional, you'll stop chasing flashy looks and start building true freedom. Stick around. By the end, you'll rethink that next splurge. Let's fetch this. This ain't just theory, it's real pattern recognition from working paw in paw with them. Here's the big shift that hits when someone crosses that $1 million net worth mark. And listen up folks, $1 million isn't mega wealth everywhere, especially if we're talking investable assets minus the home. But once they hit it, money stops being this emotional roller coaster. It quits being the I made it badge, the identity tag, or something to justify. When money chills out emotionally, behaviors flip fast. And get this, your wealth-building power, it's way more about those behaviors than the bucks themselves. Change them quick, and you're in the game for real.
First up, psychology shift number 1. Money stops being their identity. Psych folks call this identity decoupling. These quiet millionaires, they don't flash cash to show the world who they are. They already know inside. No need for a fancy car to validate, a mega house to prove success, or a lavish lifestyle to feel top dog. I've seen this for years now. Hey, I'm not saying skip the spends entirely. Go for it if it aligns with your values, vision, and what truly enriches your life. But if it's not, time to rethink. Because once money ditches the identity drama, spending loses that urgent pull. If you gotta show it off, you probably don't really have that solid foundation, right? I live in a spot where I see all these revving Lambo bros, engines howling for attention. From outside, they look like alphas, but true millionaires, they seem restrained on the surface, but inside, it's pure indifference. They stay grounded, no chasing tails. Studies back this. Higher net worth households spend way less on status symbols than those wannabe earners scraping by. So, teaser alert, what if you asked yourself this week, if nobody saw this purchase, would I still want it? Boom, that question alone nips a ton of wasteful spending in the bud. And remember, it's not about never spending, it's about why. Stick around, because next we're talking freedom over flash. Does your spending boost options or bury them? Let's find out. All right, moving on to psychology number 2. These top dogs optimize for optionality, not image. Psych experts might dub this optionality bias. Every spending decision, it runs through one key filter. Does this amp up my freedom or dial it down? They don't obsess over can I afford it, or do I deserve this, or what'll folks think? Nah, it's all about does this lock me in, add obligations, shrink my future choices. That's why quiet millionaires hit pause on upgrades, dodge lifestyle creep, and keep things liquid longer than you'd guess. I've got a solid liquidity stash myself, partly age and stage, but mostly for that sweet flexibility. When image drives your buys, it feels pricey and pressured, but focusing on options, that's pure calm, like a cozy dog bed on a rainy day. And get this, Federal Reserve data shows $1 million net worth households carry way less consumer debt than those upper middle earners chasing appearances. Sure, higher wealth skews ratios, but I've seen folks financing flashy stuff they can't truly afford just to look the part. Don't let that be you. Quick action paw. Before any big upgrade, ask if my income dipped 30%, would I regret this? If yes, it's not freedom, it's an anchor weighing you down. Chew on that.
Now, psychology number 3, they feel safer with liquidity than with stuff. Call it security substitution in psych terms. From the outside, fancy cars and houses scream solid, but inside, they feel fragile. Maintenance madness, endless commitments, property taxes that bite without warning. Woof, I just paid mine, it's rough. Liquidity, though, that's quiet power, calm, reversible, unbreakable. Stuff breaks, options don't. So these millionaires hoard cash, diversify into liquid spots, and stay boring on purpose. Outsiders might call them cheap, but they're the ones snoozing soundly. Research on financial well-being nails it. Perceived security ties more to liquid reserves than assets locked in illiquid stuff. Build that unshakable foundation, like a peace of mind fund in the wealth priority ladder, and you'll sleep like a pup. Emergency fund? 3 to 6 months is a start, cute even. But for real peace, push to 9 to 18 months. That buffer lets you pivot unrushed, chase opportunities, flip decisions without stress. It's the key to not letting finances dog you around. All right, psychology number 4. They exit the comparison game entirely. In psych speak, that's social comparison exit. We live in a world that's all about comparing tales. Who's got the bigger bone, the fancier yard? It's rough on our well-being, especially with social media barking at us 24/7. But quiet millionaires, they don't win the game because they quit playing it. No peeking at the neighbor's ride or house. Who cares? What matters is, am I living true to my dreams, values, vision for my pack, my pups, even my furry friends? They bail not because they lost, but because the prize is just dumb. Keeping up with strangers, buying stuff to impress folks not paying your bills, the math doesn't add up. They don't explain, defend, or correct assumptions. Let others think what they want. That's not apathy, that's peace, like a quiet nap in the sun. Behavioral finance research shows social comparison drives overspending hard, so rein it in. Action bark. This week, unfollow one account that makes you feel behind. If it's stressing you out instead of inspiring, it's not motivation, it's pressure. Dump it. Look, I've chased comparisons myself, landed in debt, felt miserable, but learning the hard way, now I hope this shifts your mindset. Even if everyone else has it, if it doesn't matter to you, skip it.
That fetches us to psychology number 5. They see spending as permanent. Psych term, irreversibility awareness. Quiet millionaires don't view buys as quick thrills. They're future obligations, ongoing costs, flexibility killers. Every upgrade, potential anchor. So spending's slow, intentional, almost boring. Not, is this nice, but am I okay owning this forever? I use a 72-hour rule. Card it, wait, see if the hype fades. If it's driven by comparison or status, delete. Your paw-some action? Before upgrading, ask, would I still want this if nothing else in my life changed? If no, wait, don't spend, let it go. Psychology number 6, they're comfortable being misunderstood. Low need for external validation psych-wise. This one bit me hard. I wanted to be liked, understood, in the pack. But these millionaires? No correcting narratives like I could afford that or justifying choices. Especially tough with family. They might eyeball your trips or lifestyle, wonder if you're in debt, but it's none of their business. No need for validation if you're true to your values, generous, making a difference. If knowing your wealth would change how they treat you, you don't want that. Be who you are, on stage, off, in the street. Quiet millionaires blend in, look ordinary. Think billionaires in board shorts, down to earth, but untouchable inside. That comfort? Priceless. Action here? You owe no explanations for your financial choices. That silence? It's your power muscle. Flex it. Sure, be transparent with your close pack, like spouse or heirs, but outsiders? Your biz. All right, so here's the paw-some part most folks miss. Quiet millionaires don't live this way to get wealthy. They live it because wealth flipped what matters to them. Money quits being emotional. Status loses its shine. Freedom jumps to the top of the priority list. That's the real psychological shift, folks. Yes, this is the mindset of those with $1 million net worth or more. Not the path there, but how they think once money isn't the loudest bark in the room. That's why they don't look rich. They don't need to. And get this, one big reason they stay grounded, they know their lifestyle costs cold. Not guesses, not vibes, exact numbers. See, true wealth doesn't howl, it opts out. Once you get that, you ditch trying to look rich and chase something better. Freedom, choice, options that light up your life. And woof, don't we all deserve that? I hope this fetches some fresh insights into the minds of those who've crossed the million mark and how we can shift our own thinking for more peace, confidence, joy, and calm to grow even faster. All right, folks, let's wrap this up with a quick recap of those paw-some psychological shifts that define quiet millionaires. First, money stops being their identity. No more flashing to prove a point. Second, they optimize for options over image, keeping freedom front and center. Third, liquidity feels safer than stuff, building that unshakable buffer for peace. Fourth, they quit the comparison game cold turkey, ditching the pressure. Fifth, spending's seen as permanent, with intentional weights to avoid anchors. And sixth, they're cool with being misunderstood, no need for external pats on the back. These mindsets aren't just tricks to hit $1 million. They evolve because true wealth redefines priorities, making freedom the ultimate fetch. So stop chasing the look of rich and start building that calm, choice-filled life. If this barked some sense into your finances, smash that like button. It's free kibble for the algorithm. Subscribe and hit the bell for more Shiba Finance gems to level up your money game. Drop in the comments, which psychological shift surprised you most? Share your story. We love hearing from the pack. Remember, financial freedom's your birthright. Let's light the path together. Until next time, keep those tails wagging towards wealth that lasts. Woof out.